What's going on, everyone? This is Erik with Full Man MMA, and today I am joined by UFC heavyweight Huggy Bear, Chris Barnett. Chris, how are you?
Good, man. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thanks for coming on. You had quite an end to 2021, so I'd love to recap a little bit. Back in November, of course, that viral spinning hook kick against Gian Villante, probably the most viral knockout of the year. It was on SportsCenter. I mean, it was all over social media. People were going crazy. How has life changed for you since that knockout?
Not really changed much, just more interviews, I'll say. But other than that, man, I got a good team around me that keeps me focused, keeps me level-headed, so I'm not, out there, throw it with the little performance bonus out there, throwing it in the clubs or whatever, nothing crazy like that. But nah, man, I'm just keeping it chill. I think I bought like a TV. That was about it. You know what I mean? But other than that, yeah, nothing's really changed. But I've always tried to stay myself, even in every situation. You know what I mean? Just to keep it humble and then keep it moving forward.
Do you like the extra attention? Do you like doing the interviews, or do you like kind of keeping the down low profile a little bit?
I mean, to me, it's cool. It helps, like me, my overall message is that trying to push that positivity, like, type thing. So, it helps with that aspect of it, which is cool. But, yeah, like, I've always been like, not to say it, if you're in this sport and you don't want to get interviewed, you're in the wrong sport. Like that's part of this sport is the entertainment aspect. Like people go above and beyond to get to some of these fights, and the fans out there, dude, like the messages I get and stuff, man, like you have to do this stuff for them, you know what I mean? Like, because there's no real true way to pay them back, besides, go out there and do your best. But I try to add on incentives, you know what I mean, and saying thank you, personally, and writing. I get in trouble all the time, like leaving the tunnels and stuff, because I don't leave until everybody in that tunnel gets an autograph, so but yeah, man, it's there. I mean, I don't mind them. I don't mind them at all. Like it's fun, helps you. Each interview actually helps with the next interview too. So that always is a cool thing for me, also.
Of course. Well, the fans love you. You certainly gained a lot of fans that night, not just because of the spectacular knockout, but because of how you handled yourself after the fight. You gave Jean the nice moment in front of his home crowd for his last fight. Have you talked to him at all since the last fight? I know you kind of wanted to stay friends.
Yeah. Messaged here and there, just not checking up on him or whatever, but just honestly seeing how he was doing. And when I do have something coming up again, if I could head up that way, and maybe train with the camp up there that he's with. Like sometimes he trains with Sterling and them, so that'd be cool, to get over there with Sarah and Sterling, move around. But yeah, no, I've actually been more in touch with Stipe, and then hopefully, if all three of us can get together, man, we're gonna make it a movie. I can promise you right now. Be what the Hangover 5 MMA edition or something. But yeah, now yeah, I'll definitely hit him up when I get closer to like a camp type thing. But as of right now, just letting him be, man, letting him enjoy his life, his kids, his wife, him coaching and whatnot. I think they actually did good this year. I think they're still like playoff almost potential type thing with his team, whatnot. So, but yeah, no, me and you, we'll see something later on. Maybe a buddy comedy with me and Gian later on down the road.
Well, you certainly you touched on it there. You're friends with some legends in this sport. You mentioned Stipe Miocic. You have a good relationship with Alistair Overeem. What's it like having guys like that? With so much UFC experience, and you're very experienced as well. But to have them, for support, as training partners, obviously. What's it like to have them behind you?
It's nuts, man. To like literally before I went to go train with Alistair, I was actually watching, I guess, what was the Alistair Overeem like little documentary of him at the K1. He was about to go do the K1 fight, and it's funny because the video is of him eating, and the lady goes, "Alistair, you make your own food?" Yes, this right here. I eat 7 times a day. This in the morning, I eat a little meat, and then in the afternoon, I eat more meat, and then in the evening, I eat more meat. And I went into like that, going towards like to go train with him with like that mindset of, oh my God, this is the end all be all. That's when they used to call him Uberim, when he was like just literally walking around like the super shredder. So my first time going to go train with him, actually, I drove 10 hours straight from Georgia to Boca Raton, because that's when he was with the Black Zillions. 10 hours straight down there, and I literally got 10 minutes of sleep before my good old buddy, my friend who's head coach now, Scott Baird, came and knocked on my window and was like, "Hey man, you ready?" I was like, "What do you mean ready? I'm ready to go to the room and go to sleep." He goes, "No, training's starting now." And I was like, something told me I should have left at 7 instead of leaving at 3. Now I'm here and I got to do this. So my first session with Alistair, I was like just groggy, but I remember I threw like a tornado kick that landed, and that's what instantly caught him. He goes, "What was that? How'd you throw that? Who are you? Where are you?" Like, you know what I mean, type thing. He got me instantly signed that day to Black Zillions. Like right after literally right after our round, he went to go to Glenn Robinson, who God rest his soul. Now I think he passed away a couple of years back. But he took me straight to Glenn, and he was like, "You must sign Mr. Barnett. He does these things, and you gotta." And I was like, "Oh man, thanks." So that relationship developed right there because Alistair needed training partners that weren't afraid of him, which, to be honest with you, I just had that Homer Simpson in me. Like, I was just like, I could take it, and then I could throw him one good hit that's going to make him, be impressed, But he needed training partners that were going to be able to take the punishment, especially at that time. His mindset changed over the years, which was awesome. I like to say I had a part in that, but whatever. Because he had to hurt you. He had to hurt you to know that he was doing well. Like, and I've seen that so many times with these athletes, like, they feel like, you have to, what initially we ended up telling them is you can't break your toys, you ain't gonna have nothing to play with. Like, and he was like, "Oh, okay, I get it." Like, because you got to think that camp right there, we had Ryan Jimmo, and another dude passed away. But I think he was like the 205 guy who came in the UFC. He knocked that guy out in like 13 seconds, did the split, and then did the robot.
That's right. Yeah.
We had Ryan Jimmo. We had Rico Verhoeven, the K1 champ right now. He was there. We had this other kid named Alex. Had he not gotten in trouble over in Amsterdam, him and Rico would have been back and forth K1 champs, or they would have had to make another division. Like, these kids were bananas. We had Erik Prindle at the time, who was the Bellator champ. We had another kid from Russia who was coming out of Fedor's camp. So, like, I think I got that picture online. I'm 5'9", and all these dudes are 6'2" and up. So it's like the cameraman had to back out just to be able to get me into the shot. Or if not, I was like this, every other shot I'm in with them, I'm on my tippy toes. But he had brought me in for that camp. If you look at that picture, that was the first day. By that third day, it was just me and Scott left. Like, everybody was hurt, injured. Rico, him and Rico had their fight coming up soon is going to be very, 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 very nice. Because when they would spar together, like, hey, all right, y'all, bell rang. The bell rang. Can y'all stop, please? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they would go at it. You know what I mean? They got respect and whatnot now for each other. But if that spark comes back to where I don't know what it is about that European mindset that they've got, but they just have to be better than that person. Like, and the way it comes out, you're just like, ooh wee, man. But it was like a movie every time they would spar. I'll say that much. But yeah, with Alistair, I gained his respect by, I don't want to say getting beat up, but then after we would train, I would sing, I would be dancing, and he would, "Mr. Barnett, how are you so happy? I just literally kicked your ass and you're dancing." And I was like, "Hey man, you might beat my ass, but you didn't beat my spirit." Oh, and from there, we developed like a really good relationship. Like, he would just hit me up regularly and be like, "Mr. Barnett, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm chilling, dude. What are you doing?" He goes, "Nothing. We're going to be in Georgia. Do you want to come through?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course," you know what I mean, type thing. So, it was awesome for that first camp. That had nothing really to do with the fighter. So me and him developed that relationship, which he brought me back out for Mark Hunt. That makes more sense for me to be there for, me and for Mark Hunt. Then he brought me back out for Roy Nelson. And then actually, like, even he brought me out for Andre Arlovski. No reason. There's no reason I should have been there for Andre Arlovski, but he just wanted me around, From there, I'm trying to think. I forgot where he went. He went to Abu Dhabi for a hot minute. Now look, man, I'm gonna follow you all throughout the states, but you hop in countries, I'm all right. I'm not trying to. His camps were always like months long, so I was always away from family for a long time. Great camps. Now, not gonna take anything away from it, but I'm big family oriented. Which was cool about Stipe's camps. He brought me in for DC. Makes sense. But he was also in Cleveland, Ohio. I have family like in Cleveland, Ohio. That's where my dad's side is from, So he brought me in. You could kind of tell their gym, they've maybe run into some folks that they've brought in before that were trying to be tough guys. And to kind of tell with me at first, they were like, let's see where he's instant. I made Coach Alex laugh within the first like 5 minutes, and he was like, "Okay, no, you're one of us. You're strong style for life, you know." So they'd actually yell at me and Stipe. It's funny. This dude's a 5-time UFC champ, and he's in there goofing around. They're like, "Stipe, damn it, get serious." And I'm like, "Yeah, Stipe, you gonna make him yell at both of us, you know, type thing." But yeah, no, those are the two. Like I'll say, I can call right now type relationships I built just from being outside the UFC. Now in the UFC, you know, everybody's your friend now. But no, I've got some, Rashad was another big one that he just his knowledge alone. He told me a lot about the UFC stuff before I actually got into there. And then Tyrone Spong, I know he hasn't been UFC, but if you know who Spong is, like, yeah, man, he's another killer or whatever, and he's another good dude. But yeah, no, man, I've never been the type to burn a bridge, you know what I mean? Because you never know when you need to cross back over. That's that's always been. But yeah, no, like the relationships are cool. I ain't pissed none of them off, you know, so it's all good over here on that.
Oh, that's incredible. And you have no idea how happy I am that I got to hear the Alistair Overeem impression in person. I love that. I was wondering, we have some exciting fights coming up this year. How much of a fight fan are you? Are you going to keep up, and do you actually like watching the fights the night of and everything?
Yeah, definitely. Now it's different because I used to watch them as a fan. Now it's like I'm watching, not say homework, but you know what I mean. Like some of these heavyweights, I gotta watch them. Like, you know what I mean. It's no longer just, oh man, I'm no longer that guy in the bar that's like, oh, I can do that. Now I am that guy in the bar that's like, oh man, I need to learn how to set that up. You know what I mean, type thing. You know. So yeah, but no, I'm definitely a fan of it. I want to go to the January 22nd fight in California, in Gane. Yeah, I want to go to that one. See if that works out or whatever. But yeah, no, I'm definitely. I don't call it watching anymore. We study the fights as we enjoy.
Of course. What do you think about that matchup, Gane versus Ngannou? Do you have any thoughts on how you think that's going to go down?
Ngannou hits hard. And actually watching Gane's interviews, he says it. He says it straight up. He goes, "We know what we're up against. If he touches you, it's lights out." He goes, "I know I can take a couple, but no one wants to take a couple. You know what I mean? No one wants to get hit by a Volkswagen. Let's just be honest, you know." So he goes, I think literally, I was talking to somebody else about this. His movement, that movement alone, he's shown that he has that movement for 5 rounds, which is crazy at heavyweight, but that's tough for any heavyweight to keep up. And you throwing that, and Ngannou's throwing power like that for even 2 rounds straight, that power starts to, it's like a meter in a video game. It starts to boop, 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 boop. Your stamina starts to go down. Like, it is what it is. Like, you can, I don't want to say do all the drugs you want, but like, unless you're on some EPO type stuff or whatever, man, like, all those muscles have to breathe. And the way he's throwing his stuff, he's not throwing it, there's ill intentions behind every shot he throws, So you weather that storm, as they call it, and it's a big storm now. It's a big old storm, but if you weather that storm, you have a great chance. And I think Gane's got the mentality. I think the fight's going to be boring those first 2 rounds. Like, I think Gane's either going to try to take him down, and Ngannou's shown that he's worked on his wrestling, but I think Gane's stronger than Stipe. Just overall strength. So if he does get a hold of that leg, even if he doesn't have the technique, I think he'll be able to, out-muscle him. But using that muscle waste energy, so it'll be interesting. I think he's going to set up a lot of feints, a lot of movement, those first 2 rounds, and then 3rd, 4th, 5th, I think we're going to see a lot of I'll say more point style fighting out of Gane, and then he'll go for those big knockouts. But with that point style, once heavyweights start getting tired, even if you're just trying to score points, those point shots, they're still heavy. 4-ounce glove is still heavy with somebody's 265-pound meat hand coming behind it. But I think it'll be a good chess match until Ngannou figures out what Gane's trying to do to him. And then once it's from there, it's going to be Blitz City and like the juggernaut fighting Colossus.
Well, it should be an awesome fight to watch. I wanted to ask a little bit about your backstory because I heard you talk about it in some interviews before. Martial arts for you, specifically Taekwondo, seems to be kind of like a family affair. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely, man. I've been in it since I was 4 or 5 years old. My brother, I think he was, 5 or 6 when he started with my dad overseas, and then my mom jumped in a couple of years after I did it. We're all black belts now. My daughter, she's about to test for her black belt in I think she's got about 2 more she's about to do. And then my son, he's jumping into it now. He's like an orange belt now, so it's a family affair. And then my niece is, she's in the little ninja program now. So it's definitely been a cool little core thing that we've always had to, no matter what's going on, we've always had that, that Taekwondo that can always bring it back together.
So was martial arts always the plan for you career-wise going forward? Like, what would you be doing if it wasn't for
MMA? To be honest with you, I was okay. I was that kid that in school didn't know what he wanted to do. I'm there. Hey, you like this? I like this. I liked too much stuff. And then, not to say it like that, but if I was the type that if I gave it actual time, I was going to be decent in it. I was going to be, so there was a lot of things that I jumped in. Like at one point I thought I was going to be doing film. At one point I thought I was going to be doing, this. At one point I thought I was going to be a football player. At one point I thought I was going to be a wrestler. Like at one point I thought I was going to be breakdancing. Like it was everywhere. I couldn't grasp anything. This just kind of happened. Like, to be honest with you, MMA just kind of happened. Like I've always had martial arts, I guess to say it was kind of inevitable because martial arts has always been in my life. So what I was going to be very successful in was going to have something to do with it. So yeah, it was kind of inevitable to happen, but yeah. But it wasn't planned. I can say that much. I literally was out breakdancing in a club when this dude handed me a flyer to come to an MMA tryout. That was it. Like that's how it happened. I went to the tryout drunk. Didn't win, but they were so impressed by me. Because I dropped the dude with the spinning sidekick. Like, and they were like, what? Like, I didn't have any jujitsu. They wanted us to do jujitsu rounds. So I had wrestling. I'm pinning guys. And they're looking at me like, okay, do a submission. I was like, what do you mean? Call the match. He's pinned. I don't like what's going on, But yeah, they brought me back in. Actually, a guy named Julio Gallegos won the first XFC tryout ever. But my other coach, Shah Babonis, who's in, I think we got a picture from our last fight. Yes, me, Scott, and Shah. He was one of the guys that was like, dude, you're a freak. Like, cause I went down there like 300 pounds and I'm doing spinning sidekicks and all that stuff. Shah goes, I've never seen anything like you. Please stay in the gym. I stayed in the gym, and then next thing you know, I think it was 2 weeks after that little fighter tryout, they threw me on HDNet fighting Jonathan Ivey with 100+ fights. And the rest was history.
That's incredible. Well, before I let you go here, I wanted to ask, what's your time frame looking like for a next fight? Are there any opponents on your mind? Has the UFC reached out to you with a time frame? Like, what's the status of that right now?
Yeah, we actually were looking at January 15th, but some things happened. The guy who I was supposed to fight, he backed out, and then somebody else showed up, and then I had to step out because I got to get all my new medicals, and I ain't gonna be back. And it's just a whole bunch of little rick-rack and running around. But so hopefully, but it's good to know that they did reach out, so I know that I'm on their radar. So they're talking as soon as pretty much as soon as I'm ready, from what they're saying. But I'm looking at end of February, early March. Like that's why I would love, to get in there, get everything just completely fine-tuned, because I got some stuff I have to land, because I got to get knockout of the year this year. I missed it by a little bit on this little website's radar, or actually UFC's page too. But yeah, this year I got some plans for some things. So but yeah, end of February, early March, maybe sooner if I'm feeling froggy and somebody backs out, maybe sooner. But yeah, those right now are the dates we're looking at. And then shoot from there, we might be adding on some exclusive UFC stuff they've been talking to me about, some little outside content things, we might be able to do. So that'll be cool too. UFC is not going to be done with me when they think they're done with me.
Well, that's great. I was going to say, I thought you got gypped for knockout of the year. I did look. Yahoo Sports gave it to you, but all the other websites gave it to either Sandhagen or Usman. But Yahoo Sports has your back, Chris. I know
Also, wait, Yahoo Sports did give it to me?
Yep. Yeah, Kevin Iole. I just read it this morning because I was wondering. I was like, how come they didn't give it to Chris Barnett? That was spectacular. But no, Kevin Iole gave you the nod.
Nice.
But Chris, before I let you go, you were so generous with your time today. You told some great stories. I wanted to give you the floor real quick. Anyone you wanted to shout out, teammates, sponsors, anything personally you got going on, the floor is yours.
I'm going to get in trouble because I always forget this. I have a list somewhere, but whatever. Hill Crew, Thick Boy, those have like been one of my, big sponsors right there. Barnett Taekwondo, that's the school. We're here, Athens, Georgia, 2205 Barnett Shoals Road. But now follow me Instagram, man. Just in case I did forget anybody, I got all my sponsors and people on there. Just in case. Shoot, I don't know. Yeah, man. Trying to get that Xbox sponsor. So if you know anybody, holla at me. Now I'm just, keep it moving, man. Keep positive, and I appreciate it, sir. Thank you for having me.
Of course. We'll link all that in the description below. But Chris, can't wait to see you back in there. Best of luck. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Awesome, man. Thank you for having me.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching this video. If you like our content, be sure to subscribe to Full 9 MMA. And while you're at it, make sure to hit the bell icon as well so you never miss an update from us.